don't want to have that through. Lucian, though, being also taken away from Mr. Rales. We talked about this off air. How is Mr. Rales going to react when that Lucian is taken away from him? Annie, of course, banned out. Not going to let that one through. We've seen it played a few times today. Kale, we just saw Overpower destroying the competition with Kale, so no surprises that's going to get through for Moops either.
I like this Annie ban though, because this means Supa crew can pick up a Leona or a Fresh for Mixer, even though he hasn't played Leona yet. They still take it away from Yellowstar, which again for me must be the main point versus Fnatic, because if you can avoid Reckless. Oh, we see Fresh managed to come in, so 2 supports going now. Leona is the only one open Yellowstar can make plays on.
And that's a very fast lock-in for Elise there for SOAS, so immediately lock in that one straight down. What are we expecting here? What are they going to go with? Looks like it could be a Leona Renekton straight away.
If he locks this one in, it's exactly what we talked about. They will force Yellowstar on something else. I'm not sure if he's going to go with the Lulu again, if he's going to go something else. But the Elise, we have to touch real fast on. She's spanning pretty much every game in all regions. She's so strong, and on Cyanide right now, it can even be played on Source in the top lane. Can have such a big impact on the early game, and Impaler has no Vi, and he has no Elise. What is he going to fall back on?
Well, Mima on that Renekton, or Mima, as he likes to be known as, by the way, internet. So it's not Mima, although Scandinavians do like to call him that. That is technically a Scandinavian name. Mima is what he said. We're happy with Mima. That's what we're going to go with. Of course, it does mean we're going to see Mixer on that Leona, and you talked about it at the start. It's like we haven't really seen him on this. This is a big test for him right now.
Yeah, I mean, I talked with him last week about Leona. He didn't really feel, too confident in it. That's why they didn't pick it. He was way more confident in his army, so they went with it, and they like to lane with it. So it's going to be very fun to see now, actually, how he will play the Leona, and how Mr. Rales plays with the Leona as well.
Well, of course, it is Cyanide and Peke locking in Caitlyn for Reckless and Gragas. Is that going to be a mid lane Gragas, or is this going to be the opening ceremony for Jungle Gragas?
I mean, if we didn't have the least pick, I would actually say, yeah, it could be Gragas jungle, but my bet is it's going to be the mid lane. They take it away from Moops. He loves to play Gragas. He's been playing it in, I think, like 3 of the 5 games. So it's simply just to take it away from him. That's why they pick it so early, and it's a very safe pick.
Well, we've seen Sivir hovered over. Could it be one of those early showings? Is this the first showing? I'm not too sure. It may well be the first showing in the European LCS for Sivir. Very popular in the OGM, which, by the way, is on tomorrow morning, so don't forget to miss out on that big final happening there. Shyvana has been locked in for Impaler. We saw this last time against against Roccat, and, well, there was a lot of farming going on, but not a lot of success for the team.
But, I mean, farming is what you have to do, Shyvana. You can't really gank too much. He can come down for some bot lane fights with the Sivir. Pop the ult when he comes in, and you can force the fight down bot and maybe take the tower.
Makes a very speedy dragon.
Very speedy dragon. Yeah. But all in all, though, he can't really have the impact he wants to early game. It's going to be more about the team fights now, where Supa crew versus Fnatic. I would definitely give the team fights normally to Fnatic.
We're waiting for the final 2 picks here. What do we think? What's going to come out of these last 2 picks? What will SOAS go in that top lane? Or is Elise going to be his in the top lane, because it's a champion he played with massive success during the summer?
Yeah, and Elise vs Renekton is actually a fine matchup for Elise, so he could go with it. Nuno support for Mundo top lane makes sense. Very strong versus Renekton. You will outscale him. You have issues early game, but you will outscale him a lot into the late game and into the team fights. Nuno support for Yellowstar. He cannot make plays on this.
No, it's not going to be. Not going to fall for it, because it has to be something for Moops, which we know could be Morgana. I mean, we're looking, Chaos already been taken away, Gragas has been picked. What else is left in the Triforce?
My guess would be a 6.
Is Ziggs, yeah.
6 works really well versus Gragas. You can harass him a lot in the lane, force him to only farm from range, and he's going to miss out a lot of CS early. You can maybe even shove it into the tower, which means then that we have Impaler who can go into the jungle of Fnatic, take away some camps, and if something should go wrong, Moops is nearby and he can move really fast out to help.
Okay, so what do we make of this Nunu support? Because we've seen a Nunu jungle so far in the European LCS. We haven't seen a Nunu support for quite some time, though.
No, I mean, Nunu, once you hit around the level 5 mark, actually becomes pretty strong. The Blood Boil you give to Reckless is going to give him a lot of mobility in lane and a lot of, good trading potential. If they do get all in, though, at level 6 by the Leona and the Sivir, they will have less damage and they will have to run away, but they are so mobile, it's not really an issue for them to escape it. And at the same time, if Leona overextends, you can walk behind her, use your ultimate, and there's no way out for Leona, and that she's pretty much going to die. So Reckless is hitting her from range.
Okay, so take us to the 2 team comp scores. Of course, we've got Shyvana in there, this time in the jungle, Renekton, Mundo in the top lane. Potentially, we have seen a couple of 2v1 lane switches despite the 4.1 patches, and actually have worked very well for the Copenhagen Wolves. What do we see from this?
I mean, if you look at the general team fight combos, I really like Super Hot Crew's combo. But what I don't like is the fact that how are they going to get to these team fights when they don't have the help from Impaler early game, and they have to rely on them actually winning or going even in the lanes versus Fnatic. We have seen how strong Fnatic are in the laning phase, and then my issue comes when we go to the real late game, and we have a Dr. Mundo versus a Sivir. Sivir cannot kill Dr. Mundo at all, so he's just going to be such a pain for them.
Well, of course, as the players load into the game, let's check out what you guys at home have been voting for this one. And well, no surprise, it's a biggie, ladies and gentlemen. 95% of you have voted for Fnatic. That is a clear favorite. And of course, Fnatic with their undefeated streak. No surprise there, really.
I mean, it's well deserved. Everyone sees them as the favorites of this game. We do as well. Judging from the champ select, very even combos. But still, I would give the edge to Fnatic unless we see Impaler doing something special.
And I should point out, Fnatic, while they're playing as the blue side, not Rocket Gambit, it is Fnatic Super Hot Crew, as the internal side is showing. But Fnatic are no longer top of the league, because Rocket are there now. Rocket are top of the league at 5-1. Of course, Fnatic, if they win this one, will regain their place, taking them to 5-0. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Will we see any level 1 shenanigans? I very much doubt it, although Fnatic have set themselves up for a potential invade here. Mima is in perfect place, doesn't get caught by that infected cleaver of Soaz. Well, still dodges out of it.
Fnatic actually has a pretty good 2v1 if they want to go for this. Elise can come up. She's pretty good at pushing the turrets down as well, and then together with the Nuno, we might actually see them try and lane swap.
Just trying to bait here, Soaz clearly, because the two of them are sat lying in wait, making sure there's nothing pushing in towards that blue buff and that top lane. Instead, they may go for a red buff invade. We can see that Impaler is lingering around. He wants to start on the red buff. Meanwhile, we can see Cyanide. He's down the bottom in that tri-bush. Yeah,
if Cyanide can start his own red together with Gragas, pick that one up, and they can go in and take the enemy red, they put Shyvana so far behind, she won't be able to do anything.
And what this is also showing is that it is going to be a 2v1 lane swap. And Fnatic are not showing their hand here. They're very much. This is probably why Soaz has been so aggressive in his top lane. He doesn't want to give away the position of Reckless and Yellow Star because nobody has scouted that bottom yet.
And even just scanned away the ward right here, so they have no idea they're coming in. They think the bot lane is standing bot now, but Source is TP, so he's just going to TP down whenever he needs to.
Let's see if they fall for this one. Cyanide is going to be starting off in the red buff. He's going to have the help of Peke. And this is a very late invade for Fnatic. They're going to try and get the steal here.
They're going to be able to try and stop them at least whenever they get the steal. Not sure. We've seen them going in.
They're going straight in. Mima is going to be the one that's getting caught out. He's going to have to flash away, but Soaz is going to follow through. Reckless gets in there. This could be first blood so early on. 2 minutes gone. One more shot will do it. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Reckless, 2 minutes in, gets first blood.
The mind games from Fnatic coming in right here. You talked about how Source didn't show anything except for himself. He wanted Supa to think he was just standing up there alone. Instead, the bot lane comes in, and that's such smart play by Fnatic.
Not Fnatic mind games. It's something we've seen so often across the years in League of Legends. And once again, they prove to be victorious. That does mean, of course, Reckless Yellow Star up in the top lane. Red buff also stolen away from Impaler. He's had to back away and go for that blue buff.
I think Source picked up the red buff, so when he actually returns to the lane, he's going to instantly hit level 2 and make it very hard to dive him. Shyvana now, so far behind and just has to farm and farm and farm, and Fnatic don't even have to care about him.
Yeah, he went back, got himself a ward as well as the pot, going with that Doran's shield. Teleports back to this bottom lane, like you say, level 2 already. Doesn't need to worry about this 2v1. He can sit on that tower and farm quite happily with that burning agony.
And Leona is not very good at pushing turrets. He will be able to defend this one alone, so as pretty much the entire laning phase. When they pick up the tower top, they can rotate bot, and they have just gained the tower and a red buff from this lane swap.
And this is surely massive danger moments for Mima. I mean, despite the fact this top lane turret has been buffed hugely in 4.1, it is a big problem. This is a blood-boiled up Caitlyn beating on that turret.
It's a blood-boiled Caitlyn, and there's no help for Mima because Shyvana needs to farm to get back in this game. There's a higher chance that Cyanide goes top and dives him than actually his own jungler comes to help him.
Well, Cyanide's making use of that push, and he's going to come around. The Wraiths have just spawned. Is he going to go towards there, or is he going to go top? It is going to be the Wraiths he's coming in towards, but that ward is going to show him Impaler, who's already coming in. He may actually go aggressive because he's got a level and the blue and red buff on him, and he is going to go aggressive, but how will it work out? You can see Cyanide's going to have to back away from that one. Not going to have the help of the mid laner. Moops coming in towards him. Peke's just keeping him busy there. And let's look at that mid lane because they are even trading farm right now.
I mean, everything looks so good for Fnatic right now. Impaler really fight this.
Well, where's he going to repel to? Nowhere, that's for sure. Cyanide, oh, he still doesn't land that cocoon on Impaler.
Had Cyanide landed the stun at the very first exchange, he could maybe have forced a flash. He was tanking the Wraith camp though, so he had to back out, not to die.
And of course, that does mean that Cyanide is staying in that half of the jungle. They now know he's up the top lane. This is danger signs for Mima. That tower already down to half hit points. 4 minutes into the game.
They don't have to dive him though. Cyanide can just go in and help pushing it. Mima is level 3. It's going to be very risky to dive him at this point. So if they can just force the tower and swap down to bot, that's a win enough for them.
And Impaler, he's still a level behind. You can see only at 3. He's got nothing left in that jungle. The big golem was taken away by Cyanide. Now they've got 4-man, 3-man going in towards this top lane. That's going to be the exhaust on towards Mima. They're tanking out the turret. Fnatic going to quickly trade this one out. Reckless is going to get caught out. 90 caliber net has to back away from them. That didn't get the kill. Good defensive work from Impaler.
Very risky play by Fnatic. They could just have picked up the tower, ignored Mima, and that'd be it. Instead they tried to dive, it didn't work for them. Mima was too high level and he has the Dorian shield.
So in terms of CS between these two, we can see the AD carries keeping it even so far, 41 to 42. But we see Soaz completely safe in that bottom lane. So really, this top lane, they're continuing to poke back and forward. That tower is very low. Mid lane, well, 35 CS to 26. We do see that Moops has just had to go back, and he is going to try and keep himself up there. Chalice being picked up as the first item.
Moops is having giant issues. He's actually supposed to win the early game versus Peke. It's the other way around. Peke is simply playing amazing on his Gragas, and he will just keep, getting stronger and stronger. And here the tower will go down once this mini wave is dead, so they reset the whole wave, so Mima cannot come back and get any CS.
And they're making sure all the minions go down as well. They do clear out that wave. Soaz getting dived on, but it's not going to be enough again. We do see Cyanide was just off on the background on towards those golems, so he was around, but Soaz just felt he was safe.
And Cyanide is here trying to defend his turret now. If they can hold it until the bot lane comes, such a huge early game advantage for Fnatic.
Yeah, both of the top laners of Reckless and Yellowstar backing away. We're going to see what they're going to buy. Will it be the BF sword straight out for Reckless here? Yes, it will, along with boots already, and the pot, and a mana pot as well for Caitlyn as well. So going to be going down to that bottom lane fully stacked.
Smart play though by Mixer. He recalls when he realizes Cyanide is there. He knows they can't take the turret, so he simply recalls and comes back with items and wards. This means now that they won't be pushed up because they haven't been back to buy, and the bot lane for Fnatic has.
Well, we do have ourselves a pause. Peke takes a stretch, flashes his belly to the crowd, and it looks like it is actually super hot crew currently with that pole. Mr. Rales, you can see there with his headset off. So we ourselves have to be careful what information we relay across to them. And he's obviously got some issue that he's trying to deal with. Maybe it's just Siva.
He's a pretty good-looking man, though. I'll give him that.
You like the Danes, the Scandinavians?
That's what I'm saying. He is Danish, but it's very normal for Danes to be very good-looking. I'm just going to leave it at that.
It's very normal for you guys. Of course, it's all about the Scandinavian genes. That's what it is. Everybody knows they're much higher level than everyone else in the world. But as it stands, we are just waiting for... It's actually a mix-up by the looks of it. Both of them. Maybe they both got problems. But you can see right already there dealing with it. The two admins and the Q&A guys all in there sorting everything out. So once they do get themselves sorted out...
What's up with all the players getting haircuts, by the way? Nif got one, Mixer as well got one.
Well, you know what it is? It's because you raised the level. You raised the bar last week. So you just forced everybody to get themselves super sexy. It's actually Fnatic that are keeping the crowd entertained, by the way, because here live in the studios in Cologne, we're in Cologne, Germany. If you're unsure of where to go, get onto lolesports.com. You can get the tickets on the website. There's a tickets button on there. Get yourselves here. It is sold out quite heavily, I think, for the next number of weeks, but you can get on there and buy ahead at plenty of time. I think it's only €10. It's pretty damn cheap.
It's really
but of
cheap.
course, in the studio, everybody's got where you see these players in front of their desks. It's actually the cameras, all the cameras. You can see them on top of the screens right there, and everybody has full vision of all the players. And well, Fnatic are keeping the crowd entertained with their cameras, I believe. So as we wait for the teams to sort their issues out, which is why they've had to force those headsets on. They don't want to listen to us. That's what it is.
I don't know. I gave him a compliment, and then he puts the headset back on. I know that's a weird reaction. All I'm saying.
Well, at the moment, we are waiting to find out what exactly that issue is. It's clearly a computer glitch of some form, which is why it looks like client restarting, judging by the little rotate symbol I think I was getting from the admin. I think that's what I was the sign language I can read. It's great. You know, I love the IT support that you get because, you know, you make a pause, 3 people around you in seconds. Yeah.
Instantly. And they can even call one more to come in and look at the screen as well. I mean, I love the way it works.
Well, Fnatic, they are well used to these situations. They've had plenty of time to sort themselves out in the past. And, of course, what sort of mindset does this put you in as a player? You know, because you can't talk. You can't communicate with your team. You're clearly falling behind in lane phase. I mean, it's only 1-0 to Fnatic so far, and the lane phase is starting to fall their way. But what's the problem here? I mean, how do you deal with this? Is it just nerves build up? Attention builds up?
I mean, it's obviously always annoying to have the pause because you're so focused and then instantly, like, boom, you just drop the focus because you can't really say anything. We see Dragon come in though for Fnatic right here, just to touch on that. There's nothing Supa Crew can do to stop it because Mr. Rales has recalled already.
Well, we do see the Mega Inferno bomb coming in, but it is too late. It is going to be Fnatic that pick up the Dragon there, and they will force Impaler away from that one. Wasn't even able to get close to the smite, or he would have risked dying. So Fnatic do stretch that gold lead. It's a 2,000 gold lead. Peke is going to get taken very low here. Good stun. It moves, tries to flash in for it, but couldn't get the ignite. Actually did. He got it on. Oh, that was
I'm not sure if he reset his own auto attack or he was just out of range for it. Had he gotten the auto attack off, he would have killed Peke right there.
Well, he flashed for it. Why not go all in? It didn't quite work out for them, and that could have been the first kill for Supa Hot Crew, giving themselves maybe a little glimmer of hope. Meanwhile, down this bottom lane, it's Mr. Rales and Mixer up against Yellowstar. Reckless is the name I'm after. This is the first time we've seen these two going up against each other.
I mean, just quickly going back to the mid lane right here. Had Moves picked up the kill right there, he would actually gotten back in the lane. He's still behind, and he needs to win this early game versus Peke. He needs to bully him out of lane. Otherwise, for the first few team fights, Peke is going to be so strong. Well,
we do see he's falling behind in the builds. You can see they're both going for that Athene's and Holy Grail, but already Peke almost completed that item. Blue buff, it's going to be traded off to Moops, and Impala's having to do a lot of tanking on that one. Still only level 5, by the way. It's caught up a little bit with Cyanide, who's doing exactly the same for Peke in this top area. Blue buff will go across to him eventually. Cyanide's like, come on, seriously, finish it off.
Look how safe Fnatic feels in the bot lane right here. They just push up the wave, constantly hitting the turret. They're not even afraid of Impaler coming down. They're not even afraid of Supa Crew going all in on them. They're just so confident.
Mix missing a very close engage there, so not quite landing that skill shot. Maybe the tension's starting to get to him. That pause, of course, was for Mr. Rales and Mixer, so maybe something has rattled them a little bit here. Meanwhile, Mima up against Soaz in this top lane. Well, Soaz feeling very happy with that one with Burning Agony running, taking away on Mima. Still, of course, only got that Doran's shield in there along with that Ruby Gem.
Now, the red buff didn't even respawn for Supa Hot Crew yet, or did he just pick it up? Actually, I don't even think it respawned because they didn't clear the camp. So once it respawns, if Fnatic goes in and takes that one again, they put Impaler even further back. You see Sana come in.
He's going to go in towards this one. Can he land the cocoon in time? He's going to force him away. There he is. Going to get locked up. That's going to be surely an easy kill for these two. It's going to take them a little while. They trade it across and give it Soaz. Meanwhile, down the bottom, Reckless was getting talked very, very low by Mr. Rales and Mixer there. And Yellowstar having to use his ultimate to keep him away.
And Fnatic is just punishing Supa Hot Crew for not having that top turret. Mima was too far out. He didn't really have a choice. Sana went up with the red buff. Easy kill. Though, this will be an easy tower for Supa Hot Crew in exchange.
Yeah, so Supa Hot Crew is clearly the engage. Clearly the Zenith Blade and the Solar Flare coming out from Mixer. So Mixer does finally start that engagement off. Mr. Rales playing it very clever there, making sure the minions get taken down by the turret. Doesn't want to give any gold to Fnatic extra that he doesn't need to. So we haven't seen actually, Reckless hasn't backed off from this one. He's just getting lifesteal off the golems. And this is an invade coming on from Supa Hot Crew.
They want to go maybe for the bot lane because the red buff is already taken by Cyanide a few minutes ago, so that's not going to be sporting. Instead, if they can try maybe gank on the bot lane. No, it doesn't seem like they want to do anything. Oh, going on the Moops.
It's Moops is going to get encountered on. It's going to be enough. They blow him. Oh, the explosive cast pulls him straight in towards Cyanide, and that is an easy pickup for Peke.
But Sivir coming from behind there. Can they actually try something?
Can they try and come around? It's a 3-man move, but you can see he's just going to be able to walk away from this one. Throws out the barrels, keeps them at bay, has no fear of this one. He can just barely rush away.
Moops thought actually he was safe because it was his team in the enemy jungle and they hadn't spotted Elise. He didn't expect Peke to go on him, shoot him back, and then boom, Cyanide was there to pick up a kill. So he thought he was too safe. In the end, a bit of a weird invade from Supa Hot Crew without any plan.
Yeah, I mean, they had no vision. They had no ward. They didn't know the timers on the red buff, so it's A little bit of grasping at straws potentially there. Of course, with Moops out of the picture, Peke comes straight in and steals away Impaler's jungle, taking them Wraiths.
Yeah, Impaler's really been hit hard by all this counter jungling, especially Little One. He does manage to pick up his red buff though, and can he go for Source right here?
Well, Soaz is going to have to pop that ultimate. Dragon's Descent's going to catch him out here. He does use it. He will have flash available. Just flashes through and strolls away like only Mundo can.
Good play by Source right here, extending his CS lead as well. He will only get stronger and stronger. Mimir will get weaker and weaker. The longer Source can just stay in the lane for him, you know, the better it is for Fnatic.
Oh, Cynode's going to take away the Wraiths. Meanwhile, their mid lane, we talked about the farm, how different it was, and of course Peke was already heading that, but with that kill, it is extending it further and further away from Moops. He's in real pressure in this mid lane now that we see Reckless and Yellowstar joining them.
They can, with the Nunu, with the Gragas, they can siege down a turret, and obviously with the Caitlyn, and just force Supa crew away. If they get too close, Peke will throw down his ultimate, they'll try to either pick up a kill or force them to recall, and then simply just take the turrets. They have such a great combo for this.
And those Wraiths being taken away again. We just saw Cyanide peeking around the side there. He's looking to try and land that cocoon. There's 4 members of Fnatic all shoving around that mid lane. Peke just laying in wait, seeing if anyone was going to come towards him. Not going to happen. He's just going to keep on bullying out that mid lane. And now Super Hot Crew having to pull 3 members down there. Mr. Rollers had shoved that bottom wave though. He's kept the CS rolling for himself. He's the only member so far in this team that is ahead in CS.
Yeah, the bot lane is doing their job. We have to say it like it is. The solo lane is falling behind. If Super Hot Crew, though, in the next dragon fight here in 20 seconds, can manage to pick up a few kills, maybe the dragon, they can actually be able to, you know, do a great comeback. Even though we're only 12 minutes in, we actually have to talk about comeback because there's quite the goal lead.
And I want to talk about this, obviously, thinking across the season. Super Hot Crew clearly have a strong bottom lane here. They have a good duo lane. Mr. Riley's Mixer doing a great job up against Reckless and Yellowstar, who had the record-breaking KDAs in the first Super Week. So with that being the problem, surely the rest of the season, teams will just focus that bottom lane, completely dominate them, and let the top laners deal with themselves.
Obviously, that is the normal game plan with this, but you can also look at it the other way. If you can shut down an already weak member and make him even weaker, you can completely remove him from the game. If you shut down Mr. Rales, he's still going to try and farm, and then he's still going to do something in the team fights. If you shut down someone else, and you expect him to be completely gone, like for instance an Impaler by banning away the Vi all the time, then it will hit the team even harder.
And then, of course, seemingly focusing on Mimir in the top lane, who is 0-2-0, trying to go for that Spirit Visage early on here instead of the Sunfire Cape. He's not going to be able to get that one out quick, whereas Soaz already with that Sunfire Cape completed. He's backing off. He's going to buy himself yet more items. And
he might actually... No, he has teleport. He's just going to return to the top lane and be ready to teleport down if something should happen. Super Agro is just starting the dragon.
Well, there is a ward there, and that's something he could teleport towards. Impaler spots it quickly, puts that ping ward down, suddenly realizes the danger. He's just put his team in. There is the teleport coming out from Soaz, and immediately Fnatic force the Super Hot Crew to back away.
Super Agro should just back off now, let Mimir push the top lane, try and see if he can take down the turret. He probably won't due to the changes now. He does 20 less damage every time he hits it, so it's going to be very hard for him to take it down, but at least he can get some farm and, you know, catch up to Source.
Well, the dragon goes down. Reckless did teleport away at the same time. Didn't even worry about that. He's instead heading for that top. Caught by one of these infected cleavers. Explosive cast punts him on the wall. There's going to be another barrel rolling through. They can't take the tower hits though because Moops plays defensive duty and locks him away. But now Mixer's getting caught out. Cyanide quickly sinking the fangs on him. He's going to have to back away as well.
Amazing ultimate from Peke, but also amazing save coming out of Moops. He knocked 3 people away. They wanted to dive and kill Impaler, but nope. Moops was there, knocked them away, nothing happened.
Great barrels, great mines, everything back and forward between these mid laners. Currently though, it's Fnatic that have that lead. 4,000 gold, just 15 minutes into this game. Big danger signs lurking for the Super Hot Crew. You guys at home voted 95% for this one, and well, I think Fnatic may well be proving why we see Fnatic marching along this top lane. Reckless and Yellowstar with that Blood Boil are going to be a danger to towers.
And they're so confident right now, they can just push all the way up. Cyanide is not in a position yet to actually help them if something should happen, but they have full vision right now of Super Hot Crew, so they can just push whatever they want. And Peke is just standing in the mid lane.
Well, once again, Mixer finds himself into Cyanide, but this time Peke is going to come around there. Has to back away using that shield of Daybreak to try and get himself away from that one. Top lane Rel is Mr. Rales doing his defensive duties. Bottom lane, of course, has Soaz and Mimir. Ironically, the bottom lane still being the one standing here. Of course, it's the weakest of them all.
Now, I would actually like to see Fnatic pick up some more pink wards. They have full control of the map right now, but they're not really denying any vision from Supa.
Oh, nice ulti. Explosive cast. Peke coming through from the race. And Moops, he's trying to get away from this one. Already used that flash. The barrel misses. He's going to have to take a lot of tower hits here. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Peke should walk away from that one. And again, it's another double combo. Soaz down the bottom, having to use that ultimate to get away from Mimer's dominance. He may try and turn this one back around. Throws that Infected Cleaver once again, just to cause himself problems on Mimer.
But this is what Fnatic can do pretty much all the time now. They can go wherever they want. They don't have to fear anything about Super Hot Crew. And Peke was just standing in jungle. Will Mimer go down here to the gank? Well,
we do see Cyanide coming in there. Soaz has baited this one out. Both used their ultimates already, remember. Burning Agony is ticking. They're going to have to dive the tower. Ooh. Cyanide's going to go in. The cocoon does not land. It's not been on point so far. But Peke, as you say, coming in, uses that sweeping lens, checks in there, hasn't got that explosive cask up anymore. And Mimer already reading the danger and getting the hell out of there. 5 members of Fnatic down the bottom lane.
Great flash by Mimer right here. He flashes to the side, that therefore dodges the cocoon from Cyanide. Meanwhile, though, Super Crew, can they try and take the mid turret for this, or will Fnatic be able to defend?
Well, they're trying to come in and around the side here. We do see Yellowstar closing the gap. Reckless is in there to try and clear those wave. In comes Peke. Explosive Cask is back up.
Oh, nice.
Solar Flare on towards Yellowstar. Explosive Cask forces Impaler on towards the tower, but they've got no damage to follow it up. And well, it's Super Hot Crew with their first kill onto Yellowstar, sorry.
And great play by Mixer. He simply locks down Yellowstar. He has no chance of flashing right here, and they just kill him, pick up an easy kill, and this is what Super Crew needs. They have to take whatever they can actually get. Even if Wraith Camp is a big victory, or a small victory for them.
Oh, the barrel rolls in from Peke, steals away the red buff, and you know what? He's been stealing everything from that jungle so far. The Wraith Camp has been his pretty much predominantly for the last 5 minutes. Does a little dance in the middle, takes a bomb as well. He's happy, playing up to the fans.
I mean, this, again, such a great steal by Peke. He's going in, he knows exactly when he has to move, and boom, picks it up. Impaler expects nothing.
Well, bad manners or not, the crowd enjoyed it, that's for sure. Peke can continue shoving in towards that mid lane, but these mines, you know, this is the thing with Ziggs. It can stop the towers pushing, and he's done a very good job. We're up to 179 to 144 CS, and that tower, it's only taking half damage.
Yeah, Super Crew has great wave clear, so they can just extend this game. Like, Sivir and Ziggs together instant clears the wave, and if someone pushes up in the side lane, Ziggs can throw down his ultimate and clear the whole wave as well. So we might be in for a long one.
So how does that relate? If we do go to a long one, how does that turn out? Of course, there is a gold advantage for Fnatic, but if that gold stays at, what, 5k, and the game stretches to, say, the 70k radius, that's not a big problem, but who is going to win out in the end?
Well, the thing is, I don't really see how Super Crew is going to kill Reckless with the Blood Boil, and also with the protection he has from both Cyanide and Peke. It's going to be so hard to get to him, because once Impaler and Mimer jumps in, he will net backwards, and they're going to get slowed by Nunu, going to get knocked back by Gragas, and he's going to stand there with his Blood Boil and go crazy. They might actually go for this blue buff, though.
A blue buff invade potentially coming around here. Mr. Rales trying to secure it. It's Moops that wants it, and it may well be Moops that gets it. Reckless is going to step away from this one. They don't feel it's worth dying for.
And Source is just pushing the top lane. He has his teleport ready to come down anytime.
Oh, they're coming back in. Peke is ready and waiting. That ward is going to catch out. It's actually going to be Mixer. They catch out. Mimer does go aggressive on this one. Cyanide can repel away, but where's he going to go? He's going to go back in towards their Solar Flare, catches him up. They don't really have the damage on him. Flashes out of it. Is it going to be enough? No, it won't. Mr. Rales gets the kill in there. Now Fnatic closing the gap. We do see coming around the side. Peke with the explosive cast. Catches on towards Mr. Rales. They're grouped up hideously. Burning Agony's doing wonders here for Soaz. He's going to have to back away from that one. Reckless. This Super Mega Death Bomb is not going to do enough. It's the Mega Inferno Bomb. Don't care, there's a lot of death going on. It's a 2-1 for Fnatic.
They used everything Super Crew had on killing Cyanide. It just meant when Source got in there, nothing could take it down. He kept chasing Peke from the side, knocked him backwards. Beautiful play by Fnatic, and it already signals dangerous stuff for Super Hot Crew.
Well, let's check it out. You can see it all starts out jumping on towards Cyanide there.
And right now, actually, Source is not in the fight. He's teleporting from behind. Peke is far away. Cyanide is alone right here. That's why they can take him down. They use the ultimate, though, from Leona, and they use the ultimate from Sivir. So those are both gone, which means now if we have Source coming in from the top lane, landing first cleaver, and he can just chase. There's no risk of him actually dying right here. And Pega from the side, knocking Rallis back. He would probably prefer to get more people with it, but just getting one is enough. And he's actually not even joining the fight.
That sidestep from Mima almost saved his bacon there. He does, of course, get taken out towards the end there, but you can see now the dragon fight beginning. Super Hot Crew on this one. Cyanide's going to repel in for this one. Will he get close enough? No, he won't. There's nothing he could... I don't think he quite had the range on that one, or whether he just didn't feel he had enough.
Fnatic can take the mid tower though. Fnatic can go straight for the mid tower. Pega can zone them away, or at least try to, and maybe they can pick up the mid tower.
Well, Mixer's going to try and come around the side. Solar Flare is back up. Are they going to go for it? He does get the Zenith Blade on towards Soaz. Solar Flare will catch on towards Soaz and Cyanide. Soaz pulled in towards that tower. Absolute Zero going across. Mima's going to have to try and slice and dice away from that one. And Super Hot Crew doing a great defensive duties on Fnatic.
Super Hot Crew, the last minute, has done everything right. They pick up the dragon. Source was way out of position. Fnatic couldn't fight for it. And then they come back and they managed to defend the turret. First of all, 6 ultimate cleared the wave and then instantly engaged on Source, who was locked on the tower.
But I got to question the fact that Mima has gone towards that top, left the tower now. The rest of the team were like, I can't defend this. We need you back here. And instead, we see Peke coming back around to the Wraiths once again. Doesn't fancy this one. Oh, explosive cast nearly catching Mr. Rallis with the barrel rolling in at the same time.
Yeah, very questionable move from Mima right here. I mean, he thought, obviously, Super Hot Crew expected Fnatic to back off and just say this was it. Instead, he just stayed. You know, Reckless was full HP with the Blood Boil. He could easily take down the turret. A little bit of a mistake by Mima and Super Hot Crew.
Well, Reckless and Yellow Star have gone into the top. They're going to shove that wave along back again. Beke does try and keep them away. Does use that wave clear that he has on that Gragas to keep them at bay. So let's take stock of the situation between them. Let's look at the AD carries, because we see Phantom Dancer and Bloodthirster coming out instead of the Last Whisper early on for Reckless. I
mean, Reckless just want to push turrets down. He doesn't really care too much about his damage in teamfights at this point. He just want to be able to shove turrets and shove the wave all the time. On the other hand, the Last Whisper on Rallis means when Source comes in, they actually want to try and burst him down as the first one. And if they can manage to do that, there's not much left. Arrows getting caught.
Reckless is going to be the focus. Solar Flare does land on him, and they get a good focus. There's so Mega Inferno Bomb catches on him. They get him down. Reckless is down. Cyanide's going to be the next focus. Fnatic are running for their lives there, but Explosive Cast going to bounce out. Mima pops the Dominus. Soaz is going to be the next focus. They just back away, but the AD carries down. They can turn for the mid turret.
They have to try and go for the mid turret here. Super Crew keep catching out Fnatic. Fnatic is playing too aggressive at this point.
Well, we do see the red buff being picked up by Impaler. They have kept them at bay. There's a giant wave in the top, so maybe Super Hot Crew are just going to have to consolidate and take what they can. Remember, there is still a 5,000 gold deficit. Let's check out that. You can see the engage.
It's Mixer once again, starts everything up, lands full CC combo on Reckless, and he's just going solo from it. Mima comes in, and at this point, Reckless is almost dead, and the bomb just hits him into the very last end.
Yeah, they nearly got the combo as well, because Yellowstar was taken so low, but you see Cyanide does manage to repel the Explosive Cask here. Boom. Just saves the bacon of him, and he does, of course, repel over towards the Baron, which gets him safe here.
I have to say right here, though, Mixer's Leona has impressed me a lot. He's constantly locking down targets, and then they pick up this target. So the calling from Super Hot Crew this game, and just the general, you know, the CC and the targets Mixer chooses, has been absolutely perfect.
So Reckless once again back in that mid lane. Of course, this is full Blood Boil now, full attack speed with that Phantom Dancer. He is going to be mowing down the waves, of course. Now Last Whisper almost complete as well. Now he's got that pickaxe in there, just needs to complete the recipe. Let's have a look at the mid laners, because there was a Solar Flare once again from Mixer this time. Does land on 2 people, but the rest of the team not quite in position to follow through.
I'm not actually sure if Super Hot Crew had gone for it, even if he had hit, because Impaler was on the other side of the jungle, and at the same time Mima was in the top lane.
Well, it's a blue buff invade coming out here, and it's Cyanide that's starting things off. This time Reckless will be able to steal this one away. Nothing they can do. Cyanide's the one that takes the blue in the end, and Super Hot Crew now going to start being pushed on their inner turrets.
Amazing enough, actually, Super Hot Crew has catched up in farm. They were so far behind early in the game, but now, look how it is. Sure, the mid lane is still behind, but not by too much, and Mima actually is back in CS.
He's back doing the top turret damage as well. Maybe they can get themselves their second turret of the game. At the moment, Mima is going to have to back away from this one. Good slice away from the infected cleaver there, just skips away from it. Mid laners, this is what we were trying to talk about. Very basic build coming out from Peke, yeah. Straightforward, he knows what he wants. Athene's an early grail straight away. Rabadon's Death Cap, Sorcerer's Boots with the Home Guard.
And both of them are most likely going to go for the Void Staff now. And simply, they pretty much have the same job. They want to constantly push their waves, they want to constantly also defend the turrets, and then when the fight starts, they want to land as much burst as they can instantly.
Well, the blue buff actually didn't get cleaned out, which we'll see Mr. Rallis is doing now, because they left that tiny little lizard in there, just annoyingly to get that cooldown. Of course, they both saw that, so timers won't be picked up there. Cyanide with that pink buff on the Baron will clear out the coverage that Super Hot Crew had in it. Blue buff, of course, will be picked up by Peke. Super Hot Crew are trying to rally quickly here and maybe shove down that middle turret. They still haven't really had free time on it yet.
No, but I mean, Fnatic should be just grouping up right now. They have the stronger teamfight at this point. If you look at Impaler, he's not very tanky. If he jumps into the face of a Blood-Boiled Caitlyn and a Gragas, even an Elise at this point, he's just gonna get melted. So Fnatic should pretty much just group up, keep Source with the teleport, of course, and then start pushing down the turrets.
Well, we see Mima and Soaz once again going at it. Mima takes the gold away from the Golem and just slices away once again, but he is taking some serious damage every time he goes into those engages with Soaz, because Soaz is just giant tank right now. He's got that Warden's Mail in there now to follow off the Spirit Visage and the Sunfire Cape, which he completed earlier on. So he's what, that's 1,000 gold ahead in terms of items, just in between those two items.
And he has the ultimate, which gives him the insane regen. So even if he should go low, he can manage to get out of the fight, regen up, and get back in and be a constant pain.
Impaler using the attack there to pull the Baron on towards Yellowstone, which way takes that damage. Meanwhile, the Dragon is being taken down the bottom. Cyanide is on that one with the help of Reckless, and realizing Cyanide doesn't need any help for this one. Peke is running interference just above.
Fnatic might actually just be waiting for Reckless to complete his last Whisper before they want to do anything. They want to make sure that he can take down these tanks, and meanwhile, it's just a fight for vision.
Impaler's going to have to use his ultimate to get out of this situation. You can see the rest of Fnatic closing in, making sure he has to use it. Dragon's Descent was used there to get out. They also pulled onto the Baron to make sure he put a couple of attacks on him as well. So ultimate down for a brief moment. It's a very quick cooldown.
It's a very quick cooldown. I mean, I don't think Fnatic is going to move too much on it. They're still just waiting for Reckless to complete the last Whisper, and then they will team fight, or at least siege down the turrets.
So Super Hot Crew at the moment are falling behind in gold, slowly but surely grinding out a victory here, potentially Fnatic. Of course, they are 4-0 up here, and a win against Fnatic for any team would be a great scalp to take, especially for the Super Hot Crew, who themselves only have one victory so far in the LCS.
Yeah, and if they should manage to win this one, everyone else is going to look at them and say, wow, okay, we need to respect this team, and we need to be very careful about what we do. We're not going to, try anything risky or not take them too serious. So it's going to be like a huge milestone, actually, for Super Hot Crew to really be acknowledged as a great team.
And, we heard it as well from Vander just beforehand. He actually does believe that Super Hot Crew do have a chance in this one, and as the game keeps on going, they are going to get a bigger chance. When those huge team fights start happening, when people are at 6 items, it can become a risky game for both teams involved.
I mean, if Super Hot Crew can manage with Mixer to land some CC on Reckless and burst him down instantly with the 6, with the tanks jumping in his face, they will have the speed buff from Sivir, so they can, roll over Fnatic. If they can manage to take down one of the squishy targets early, they can actually win the fights.
And you mentioned it, when Reckless got caught, Fnatic were playing very reckless, to coin his even name. They were playing very fast and loose, and since that moment, they have stepped it way back. They have, guys, we need to calm it down here. We're getting a little bit too carried away. We have to treat this game with all seriousness, and there's been no fanciness from Fnatic this time away. They've gone straight down to simple farming, simple mechanics.
I feel like, though, they may be slowed down a little bit too much. Right now they have a 6,000 gold lead, but they're not really using it for anything, and they're just letting Super Hot Crew farm their way back in the game.
Well, again, Yellowstar comes around with that pink buff. Will take away another ward in the Baron pit. I think that's around about 6 so far. It's gone back and forward. Mixer comes straight in, puts another one down, and that's going to get taken straight back out. And this time Fnatic are setting up for it. They're going for Baron.
And Rallis is far away. He has to move all the way across the map. Super Hot Crew will have to engage 4v5.
They're going to have to dive for this one. You do see Impaler's ready. He's got the smite still before. Solar Flare goes down, and they are holding on to that Baron. Will they use it out? Absolute Zero comes out. He gets it. Impaler once again steals it away. And now Mr. Rallis, he's going to be joining the fight in a moment. Impaler's doing a lot of work. He's going to go down, though. Mima's in trouble. He's going to get back in there. Explosive cast blows him back in. Can Mr. Rallis sort this one out? No, he can't. He's going to get locked up. Ace holds on to moves. That's going to be enough. It's a triple kill for Rectus. Teleport from Soaz. He's not done yet. Infected Cleaver on towards Mr. Rallis. He's going to go down. This will be the ace for Fnatic, and the gambit has played off.
Everything looked so good for Supa crew just when they engaged. They got the tanks low, but there was a Blood Boil Reckless in the background. He didn't even get touched. He just cleaned up everything. And Fnatic, even though they didn't pick up the Baron, can now take an inhib.
Well, a dangerous, dangerous play. Another great steal from Impaler there. But this time around, it has backfired, and it's Fnatic keeping all 5 members alive. You've got to wonder maybe it's the targeting, just anything in there. They needed just to get someone down to start that ball rolling to back Fnatic up, but instead Fnatic, they didn't back away. They knew the experience in that situation. They take themselves an inhibitor.
And they knew, I mean, Reckless talked about in the interview how he's the one making the calls for targets. He was obviously just telling everyone, I'm full HP, just keep going, keep fighting this target, this target. So, beautiful team fight by Fnatic of all. Look at over here. From the start, it looks actually very, very bad for them. Their Solar Flare is a bit wasted, but once Supa crew actually goes in, both tanks from Fnatic are very low, and Cyanide especially has to pretty much leave the fight immediately. On the other end though, look at Reckless down here in the bottom, completely untouched, Blood Boil from Yellow Star, and he can just shoot on whoever he wants to.
Yeah, that's when the AD carry is just getting free hits like that, that's a big, big problem for your team. We do see down on the main screen though, of course the tower was taking Supa Hot Crew reacting on that one, but they did just lose their support mixer, and now that may well mean Fnatic will shove on. Reckless is in the base right now, so they're not going to go too crazy on this one, but a tower regained from Supa Hot Crew reacting to Fnatic, all backing off after that inhib.
It's just smart play, you know, you have to get something somewhere. What can you do? Enemy team is recalled, instantly shove it down, take the turret, back off. Mixer did die for it though, but that's a worth it trade for Supa Hot Crew.
Yeah, one tower for us support, always a worth it trade. And that is going to be the white, or we're going to call it the big Wraith.
The big
Wraith. That's what we've decided on, because that's what it is. So Fnatic, they're regrouping, rotating around towards this bottom inner turret, and I honestly don't believe Supa Hot Crew are going to put up a too strong a defense on this one.
Supa Hot Crew just have to try and all-in engage, burst down one target, then follow up to the next target and try and win it that way. If they can ignore Source in this and just roll over him with the ultimate from Sivir, they might be able to do something, but Reckless is very experienced and he will stay way back.
Yeah, he's at 6-1-2 so far, of course. Untouched. Peke going to come around the back, explosive cast potential. He does try and take out that wood, didn't quite get the combo on towards it, and now he will instead roll that barrel on towards Impaler, who himself's got about 3,500 hit points. Reckless though, again with that Blood Boil, doing damage on towards the tower. The constant damage coming through from Peke off on the side, and this siege is slowly withering down the Supa Hot Crew. Tower already down to half hit points. They have good wave clear though. You pointed this out. With those mines, with that boomerang blade coming out from Mr. Rales, they have enough to keep them at bay, even with the Baron.
Even with the Baron, yes, but look at the amount of damage Reckless can put on this turret. They actually give up this one. Moves is there, so trying to clear as much as he can from this wave. But generally, wave clear-wise, it doesn't even matter for Fnatic if they have the minion wave, because Source can go in, tank a few hits, and then Reckless hits the turret a few times, and that's enough, you know, with time to take the turret down.
Well, the shield blocking out, the ace in the hole there, so nicely done by Mr. Rales, stepping in front of Moops. AD carry taking one for the team there. But again, the wave clear, or the wave push still coming in from Fnatic. Of course, they have to deal with the super minions. They're rolling through that mid lane. So somebody has to step across to the left, which is going to leave a 4v5 situation here in this mid lane, bottom.
And Supa Crew just have to try and engage. I mean, they can't wait for Fnatic to just push the turret. They just, whenever he feels, it makes it feels there's a chance, or Mimer, they just have to go in for this.
Reckless taken pretty low there, stepped in a little too close, and Moops quickly jumped on the chance. He didn't actually use his ultimate though, which was available. Instead, you can see Reckless just life steals it all back.
Yeah, and this is like, Reckless has no defensive items. If he gets caught, he will die instantly. Moops alone can take him down. We saw the damage he had just before. So I'm sure right now that Mix is just waiting for the opportunity to land the ultimate in the face of Reckless and just yell, go for it.
Well, a Mega Inferno Bomb will certainly do a good chunk of that damage. The question is, can they follow it up? They need to try and keep throwing those explosive packs out. They need to get him caught in one of those stuns. Again, super minions coming up the bottom lane, middle lane, which somebody, again, is going to have to deal with. Fnatic, without that Baron buff now, are going to step away from this one. This is buying Supa Hot Crew a good few minutes of respite, but Fnatic, well, they've done just like Rocket did, cheekily rolled back around and pushed them bottom.
This is so smart by Fnatic because the top lane is pushing by itself.
Wow. That is a combo right there. Or if you were overpowered, you would call it a wombo combo. But right now, it's Fnatic rolling through. The inhib bottom lane goes down. Why are they pulling the trigger on this one? Just accept the fact you're going to lose that mid lane inhibitor because they'd already lost that mid laner. how can they fight this one out? It seems to be working out quite well for them, but now, again, battle of attrition, and Super Hot Crew having to step away from this one. But Mr. Rala's untouched so far. They do finally take the inhibitor down. I'm amazed Super Hot Crew didn't lose more in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, they went in, they got actually to Reckless with Mimir, so he had to flash over the wall, and he did 0 damage in this fight. That was why nobody from Super Hot Crew actually died. They could back out. They had the Civi ultimate running as well. So all in all, they tried the last fight for this one. They should have gone earlier, though.
Well, it's a minute until Baron. And Super Hot Crew are going to be well aware of that. They need to posh themselves out there. You can see Pink Ward being picked up by Impaler. They need to get some coverage around that Baron pit, laid down very quickly. They're desperately trying to shove the waves out, but Sawaz straight back in Mimer's face.
There's only one lane now for Fnatic to go for. The mid inhib is going to respawn, though, and they can actually go up, force either a 5v5 fight there, or just take the inhib and then go to top lane and do the exact same thing they've just been doing.
Well, Super Hot Crew trying to set up on this one. If they could take down Soaz early on while the rest of the team are not there, it would be a big bonus. And you can see everybody wants to get involved in this one, but the rest of Fnatic are close by.
And they're pinging the blue buff, so they might actually go over first, take the blue buff, give it to someone like maybe a Reckless, and then go up for the push. They don't really need to delay this game any longer, though, because they're so far ahead and they're so strong.
And that top turret just needs a quick breath of air, which I believe someone else will be giving on towards them any moment now. One more hit on that. Mr. Rales well comes in there. Mima tries to block him away, but look at the mid lane. They know they've got an exposed inhibitor, and Fnatic are pushing for it.
There's not really anything Super Hot Crew can do unless they want to go for the fight.
They're out of position. Super Hot Crew completely pinned there, and Fnatic immediately pulling on towards it. They're going to have to run around. Soaz had one direction he could have gone. Mixer going in. Oh, it's a suicide mission, though, and that's going to put them down to a 4v5 on this inhib.
The Cleaver forced Mixer to just go in. I mean, he was already slowed down, and Fnatic would have chased him up and killed him anyway.
Well, that's going to be an inhib going down, and Fnatic now with those 2 inhibs down may just keep on pushing because there's super minions coming along that bottom lane. That's going to force super minions along the top, bottom, so middle. God, if I can only say which lane it's going to be, it would be wonderful. But Fnatic, they're going to keep on shoving.
Oh, they lost all the engage right here. The bomb comes in. Will they actually go for this one?
Well, Reckless taken down to half hit points, but that doesn't really matter because the tower's already gone down. Mima disappears in a matter of seconds, and Fnatic should close this game out now. Superb stuff from them. Really played this by the numbers. They had a little time where they were rough, but it should be their game.
Yeah, as soon as they got caught out the first few times with Super Hot Crew, they just said, okay, relax, play this all the way serious, and then right here now can pick up the win.
So Fnatic go 5-0 in the LCS. They will finally close the game out as the Nexus falls. And again, it was that man right there on the screen. 6-1-5, all about that Baron fight that started off. And really, Peke, 5-0-5. He was impeccable in this game. And again, alongside him, Yellowstar 0-1-10. Some superb stats coming out of Fnatic against the Super Hot Crew. You've got to give it to the Super Hot Crew. They certainly gave them a little run for the money for a short period of time. And you can see that bottom lane. It seems to work for them. They just need to get the rest of the team on board.
The bottom lane was definitely doing their job. But the rest of the team, we just have to say it as it is. Fnatic is just better in these roles than Super Hot Crew right now. This is something they can work on, though. If they find some of the right champions, maybe try and do a bit like Rocket, invent something that people don't expect. They can actually surprise them and maybe pick up a few wins from it. But all in all, right here, we just have to give credit to Fnatic. They played amazing.
Amazing stuff, and it does take them top of the league once again. 5-0. Perfect start for Fnatic. Can they go all the way? Maybe challenge that record that Cloud9 set back in the summer of 25 wins, 3 losses, I believe that is. Don't quote me on that. But now, guys, it is your turn at home to tell us what your favorite moment was. Tweet us at LOL Esports and using the hashtag LCS Big Plays. Was there anything in that game that you saw that really got you excited?
I mean, the Baron fight, I love the steal from Impaler, but also I love the position from Reckless the entire fight. He didn't panic or anything. He just stood in the background. He just boom, 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 shot people down.
Well, for me, I've got one from the previous game because Vander, them hooks, they were amazing. Certainly superb stuff. So what do we take from this game? Super Hot Crew, of course, now, 1-5 maybe, I believe, coming into week 3. Clearly not really settled down in the LCS. Mr. Riley said it himself last week. I'll be delighted if I get 1 win all season. They got that win. How do they follow up on it?
For me, it's more about them actually finding, they have to expand the champion pools, and they have to find some solution to how to get the solo laners going. Does this mean that Impaler has to only sit in one lane and just try and snowball this guy? Then try it at least, because right now, the bot lane, they don't need any help. They're doing just fine alone. This was against Yellowstar and Reckless. In a lane swap, yes, but when they swapped back, they kept up in CS. Mr. Rylis was a constant threat in this game, even though the whole team was behind. So Impaler needs to put all his focus on the solo laners and try at least to give one of them a lead, and then they have both two lanes who are actually doing pretty well, and they can, force something.
Well, you heard it here. That's the expert's opinion. It is time for us to take a quick breather, and when we return, Shox and Joe will be breaking down that win with Soaz from Fnatic. Then it's time for the struggling Millennium to try and swing the momentum back in their favor as they face off against SK Gaming. However, SK's Candy Panda is feeling quite confident in its team's potential.